I'm in Italy to find out what Italians think about Brexit.
The world has changed very much.
Really, I'm not the right person to talk about it.
Oh, you are. You're totally the right person.
But I don't have a real thought on that for now.
Welcome to Italy.
Brexit sucks, and I'm not the only one thinking it. Even this guy who's rallying for it has said it's failed.
Brexit has failed.
And 85% of under 25s say they want to rejoin, and polls for all adults are showing between 60 and 67% want to rejoin.
Benissimo.
Unfortunately, there are plenty of trolls out there trying to stop us by telling us that people in the EU don't want us. So, I've been to France, Germany and Spain asking 3 questions. 1, what do they think about Britain leaving? 2, what do they think about Britain coming back? And 3, they have a love message.
Cosa pensa di Brexit? I think that it was a bad choice because pulling out of the EU, England lost contact with the modern world, a world where you find opposing powers such as China and the US and Russia, so it wasn't a good choice. Cosa pensa di Brexit?
La scelta migliore.
The best choice.
Perché?
Why?
Well, I felt extremely betrayed by the Brexit because I always loved London. I always saw the entire United Kingdom. I feel very connected to them.
Okay, well, I used to work a lot with people in England, and I'm a lawyer, and I'm not seeing such a big difference, let's say, before Brexit and after Brexit. Yeah, I think it was damage for both Italians and British because I work in the research, and I've been seeing that researchers from UK were having some trouble because financial funds for the research and the sharing of data on research, the better. And because of Brexit, there is some constraints of sharing data for research purposes, and this is limiting on the research side.
Because Europe has a lot of problems, and as Switzerland did, it's best to live away from it with your own currency and with your own laws, because Europe isn't America.
Since you need a passport now to get there, it has been a little bit more of a hassle to get there, but I don't have a real thought on that for now.
My opinion is also that we are kind of having constraints. Like I went to England last year and I needed to make my passport to go there, and all checks were more stringent than traveling around Europe with your normal ID. So I think it's a loss. It's a loss of an opportunity of living together and collaborating.
We always dreamed to go to study there, and obviously if the Brexit wasn't part of the deal, we would have gone there. But since Brexit came, the price was too high to pay for us.
I've actually never seen from people that came from the UK to hear someone saying that Brexit was a good thing. No one has ever said, but maybe that's because of the bias of people coming from the UK to here.
Traveling.
Yeah. Traveling gives you like this different perspective.
Newspapers and journals are saying that British are having some issues on the economic side because import and export to Europe is more expensive, and so it's kind of limiting the import of European goods. So I think everybody lost something from Brexit.
I love the English literature. I know everything about Jane Austen. I know everything about the Bronte sisters. It's like it was my place, and I was able to go there as soon as I'm tired of Venice. Let's go back to the UK. And Brexit completely destroyed it.
For the next part, we wanted to know what people thought about the UK rejoining. Watch this and listen out for the sound effect.
I think that it makes sense.
That's the sound of us winning. And every time you hear a negative, you'll hear this sound. And all to prove that these guys are completely wrong.
If it is possible for the UK, if it is the best choice, why not? I want them to be back. I want them to be back.
What do you think of the UK coming back into the EU?
I think it would be a good democracy exercise because people are not noticing the difference on their skin, and some people trust others, politicians saying stupid things.
I'd vote to stay in the single market. I'm in favour of the single market. I want to be part. I want us to be able to trade freely with our European friends and partners. Being in the single market have been wildly overstated, and it's striking that countries outside the EU have actually done better at exporting into the EU than we have.
But then when they finally live the experience directly of the constraint being outside Europe, they are changing their mind and they are taking their own opinion according to experience, and maybe if they come back to Europe.
I think it should come back to the European Union.
What do you think about the UK coming back into the
Please
EU?
do it as soon as possible, please.
I think that people have to change their mentality, their way of thinking, because many people still think as if they were still part of an empire, and things aren't like that anymore.
60% now want to come back to the EU.
That's great. Let's have another election, so of course we need a leader who is capable to bring these people together, because other leaders, wrong leaders, is what caused it to leave. And I think all of this is coming from Boris Johnson.
I'm going to include this guy as a negative because of his message that you'll hear at the end of the video. That was pretty conclusive. People were chosen at random, but it was anecdotal. But I'd be interested to see what other people say. You can check out in my other videos what the Germans, the Spanish and the French also had to say. I've turned up in the city of love, Venice, very romantic. I'm asking everyone, do you have a message of love that you'd like to give to the British public, like to call them back?
Yes.
We are waiting for you to come back.
I hope they come back to European Union.
I guess that most, if not the whole European Union is welcoming open arms. I hope, more than I guess, I hope, or at least the people, you know, I guess.
Please come back, because I think it's much better to be all together.
I've loved the UK.
Do you have a message to the people in the UK?
Ho un messaggio per gli inglesi?
Sì, buona vita e buon lavoro.
Have a good life and carry on.
Basically, we miss them, okay, and we will be very pleased to have them on board again with us.
This has been an amazing journey, from all the love felt across Europe,
We miss you.
to all of the interesting characters that we've met. But we're not done yet. I haven't shown you the messages put into the box. That's for another video. What I am going to do is ask you to help out the channel as well as yourself. If you like this content and want to see more, click that subscribe button. I'd love us to hit that 50% mark. In the meantime, thank you to Mrs. Max who did all the translating, as well as my Patreon and YouTube supporters. You keep this channel going and growing. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.